Hey guys, come along with me and I will show you what I'm doing to prepare for YWAM. I'm starting this at night because I've been listening to the Elizabeth Elliot podcast and she talks about getting up early to pray in the morning. And she says when talking about her dad who would get up at I think it was 5 a.m. in the morning and pray until 7, people would ask him how do you do that? And he always would say it starts the night before. So you're starting the night before. And as you can see, I'm doing this odd thing with my hair right now. So I'm using little heatless curlers. The reason I started using these was because I was trying to figure out a way to not take too much time getting ready in the morning with roommates, because I could have 4 to 11 girls in my dorm, which is exciting, but also a little bit nerve-wracking on how the schedule is gonna work, but it's whatever. So this is one of the things that I've been doing because I just have to do it at night, and then in the morning you just unwrap your hair and boom, your hair is done for the day. I have a budget that I need to stick to, and so I'm going to be really cheap on my hygiene products. Like I said, I've been listening to the Elizabeth Elliot podcast one episode, and it was her friend talking, and she was saying how they had a discussion about saving money, and they talked about using shampoo as body wash and shampoo, and Elizabeth Elliot called it caveman hygiene. So I will be having caveman hygiene. So I just put that on and I look fabulous like this. So it is 9:49, which is kind of later than I wanted to go to bed. And I have my clothes here on the floor. So I will put this up. I'm going to hang up that outfit so it'll be ready for tomorrow. I will set my alarm, and I love listening to podcasts while I'm going to sleep. And right now I'm listening to one, and it's the ESV Bible read, and it's really nice. So this is my speaker here, and I will set that up. But when I am at YWAM, I will use my Bluetooth headphones for my roommates. Okay, good night. My alarm for 5 just went off. Well, actually 5:30. I changed it. But I am going to start prayer here. My church has been getting up at 5 a.m. I just started with them yesterday. Yesterday I got up and then I went back to bed after I finished praying, so I want to stay up today so that I can change my sleep schedule. So what I'll do is I'm going to just make my bed here and pray. Also, if you see me on my phone, I'm using this app called PrayerMate, so not getting distracted. So the main point of this video is really just to inspire you to kind of maybe think about some of these things to prepare for YWAM. The only thing that's really necessary to do is to spend time with God every day. Something I want to encourage you with is that it doesn't have to be super big, super long, just not rushed. 2020 was when I started spending time with God every day, and I was like, we're gonna do this sort of thing. And I started off, sorry, let me catch my breath. I started off 5 a.m. in the morning, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read my Bible for an hour, I'm gonna worship for an hour, 2 hours, we got this. By day 60, I was just completely exhausted, could not keep going, and so I cut it back to 15 minutes, and ever since then, the time has just been growing out of love and not this is how long you do it, sort of thing. I'm going to finish working out. I'm going to listen to some music because that makes it easier. So, yeah. Okay, we finished the workout. It wasn't very long, but I feel like I had some good exercise. So the final things I'm going to talk about what is really essential as to preparing for YWAM, and then just some little fun reminders that I've been keeping in my pocket that have been really encouraging to me. Really just spending time in God's presence is the most important thing. And you don't have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. You know how that is. So the reason why I'm personally doing the 5 a.m. or 5:30 thing is because my church is doing like 5:30 prayer, and so I'm kind of I want to do it at like the same time as them. But also with the time zone change, we'll be getting up at 5 a.m. this time. It'll be 6 over there, but I need to try to acclimate my sleep schedule to that, so that's my reasoning. So I love what Eric Little says, when we spend time with God, it doesn't have to be a long time, but it shouldn't be rushed. He does recommend getting up 30 minutes early, and I think getting your quiet time in the morning is a very good discipline to have, but don't feel like if you don't have time in the morning that you can't do it in the evening, sort of thing. And I read The Practice of the Presence of God by Brother Lawrence, and he talks about just like focusing on God's presence throughout the whole day. And Hudson Taylor also did this. I learned about this in a video by Missionary about Hudson Taylor. And so one of the reminders I keep in my pocket is one of these. Every time my hand brushes against it, it reminds me that God is with me. And it's just been a super helpful kind of reminder for me. And something that Hudson Taylor said was that once he started to be able to like focus on God's presence throughout the day, it was like he was a new man, kind of like he ceased striving. And I've kind of noticed that too, like kind of moving out of the mindset of like, okay, this is a certain amount of time I'm spending with God, I'm gonna spend an hour with him today. It's just gonna be like a continuous spending time with him. I would totally recommend that to you, and just it really gives you a lot of peace throughout the day. You start worrying about something and then you remember that God is with you. And also something else Elizabeth Elliot has talked about a lot in her podcast is that today is given to us and tomorrow is not. And basically same thing Jesus said, don't worry about tomorrow. Those two things have been really helpful. And the other thing I keep in my pocket is this little quote by Jim Elliot. And it just says, where you are, be all there. Every time my hand brushes against the little piece of paper, reminds me I also have this as my lock screen. So I hope that is helpful for you. I hope you've gotten a little bit of inspiration or just had fun learning more about how I'm preparing for YWAM. And I'm posting this on my channel that I've created specifically for fundraising and things like that. So if you are one of the people who have donated, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it, and I would appreciate your prayers for God just continue to provide and prepare me for what he has prepared for me. So and when I mean him providing, I don't just mean finances, which that can be an easy thing to focus on, but also just providing wisdom, providing opportunities, providing the right words for me to say to people when doing outreach, those sort of things. So I would appreciate that. And also that he would provide patience. I haven't met any of my roommates yet, but we're having like a, I don't know, video call in 5 days. They just said it was a fun and important announcement. Very ominous. Thank you so much for following me throughout the day and kind of seeing what I'm doing to prepare for YWAM. They actually sent me an email saying like, while you wait, so it gave me like book recommendations and stuff, so I'm gonna check those out. If you would like to donate, the link will be in the description. it will go directly to the YWAM station. Just put Heidi Martin as the student's name and it will go in the right place. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye and God bless.